for me, when I consider myself a game changer, it's because I am deeply motivated by taking the little steps towards success, towards progress, towards development. So Lucha Lunako is a youth development lab that really concerns itself about creating pathways to decent work for young South Africans through collaboration, innovation, and ecosystem participation. We were founded in 2019, and it started with a report because the three co-founders, myself included, were quite dissatisfied with what's happening in youth development in South Africa. And as a young person myself, I thought, let me be part of the solution to the problem that we are facing. So when we founded Lucha Lunako in 2019 with my co-founders, I admittedly am the only young person that sits on our directorship. And my problem statement and reason for joining the organization at the time that I did was there is underrepresentation of the youth voice in leadership structures within youth development organizations. And I think I came in with the perspective of really wanting to drive what is at the core of Lucha Lunako, which is that young people have agency and capacity. They are not a problem to be solved for. So I was excited by that. Then COVID-19 hit. Okay, I want to say we were prepared. I want to say we really had already established our ideological framing that was about centering young people, really creating capacity opportunities. But what hit us with COVID is it created some distance, and we really began to understand that the problems are daily. The problems are minute. The problems are happening in and around a young person's context. They are not happening in this big world that we are busy consolidating with stakeholders, partners. It led us to create a survey, which one of my co-directors ran. And in that survey, we came out with some really key insights about what young people are facing. There is a need for income. They're really surviving. And also just the emotional terror and trauma of what COVID-19 was creating for young people. So what that created for us now, and where we have progressed to as an organization, is we are caring largely about solutions that are affecting the daily. For example, we're translating this ideological framework into a curriculum, let's say, and yet we are anchoring where we would have anchored perhaps in concepts like self-awareness and motivation. We are now anchoring in entrepreneurship and micropreneurship. So we're saying, how do we start to work with young people in a way that directly solves the problems they are facing? We're creating WhatsApp groups, we're giving data, we're giving stipends, we're really driving participation in our learnership programs. We're working with learnership partners to really come to the heart of where young people are facing their problems. As a young person myself, and one who from a young age can be framed or was positioned as leading, I often found myself to be the youngest person in the room. Although with my peers that was exciting, and it was a moment of joy and celebration, like, yo guys, I'm going to wherever, I found that when I'm in the room, I'm ignored, I'm slighted, but most, I think perturbingly for me, I was infantilized. I was made this person who has no thought of their own, who must constantly be a recipient of education, and was never asked about my experience as a way to contribute to the conversation or to the solution. And so what really impassioned me about entering the youth development space is because I am a single representative of what I think is a very pervasive problem within South Africa. Many organizations and interventions are being created to solve problems for youth, supposedly, without asking the young people if these are even problems that they face, without giving them platforms and opportunities to make the very contributions about the problems supposedly they have, but also for them to participate in creating those solutions. Considering that this is about game changers, I guess the obvious question is, do I consider myself a game changer? And my answer is unequivocally yes. And I say this as big and bold as I do because I think about change as incremental. I think about change as progress. And I think about change as moving steps forwards towards the goal and the direction that you're trying to achieve.
For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on our social mediums.